So I went on Italian TV. And this is what I learned. Well, mostly I just embarrassed myself, but also I did learn some things. One day I got a message from an Instagram called Slow to Italia, and it was a producer who was like, hey, we want you to come on our television show because this season we are including foreigners who live in Italy, but you have to speak Italian. And that's where I was like, I don't know if I can do this because I'm not good at Italian. I agreed to do it anyways because, you know, life is better when you say yes to opportunities. So I said yes. The first place we went was a city called Parma, and I'd never been to Parma before, and I was actually very impressed.
Lui è bello. Guarda sua barba.
I also was shook by the Parma accent because the people in Parma, they say their R's almost like they're American. They say Parma like Parma, not like Parma. It was crazy, and I love to hear it. The whole entire trip, I was just stunned by all of the accents I heard because I'm at the point in my Italian language journey where I can understand accents. I was like, I can hear, like, for the first time in my life. It was crazy. The first scene we shot was like a lunch scene, which was really awkward because I didn't know what I was doing. And they were like, don't look at the camera. And I was like, in the camera because of course, when someone tells you not to do something, you immediately do it. I met the host. His name is Patrizio. Oh, that's embarrassing. So with Patrizio, we met a famous composer, and you know, I just got to know a lot about Giuseppe Verdi. That was fun. The only issue, I don't know enough Italian at all. He would be interviewing the composer, and then he'd turn to me and he'd be like, what do you think? And I'd be like, I didn't know how to be like, I have no idea what you just said. So I would just be like, Like, you'll see the episode, you'll see. This was a wild first day. They took us to an underground secret society about Giuseppe Verdi. And basically I think there's 17 men, one man for each song that Giuseppe Verdi made. And they sang for us, and it was a little spooky. To see, you know, grown men getting out into the community and having passions, but it was also a little spooky, and I felt like I was in the middle of an Illuminati meeting. I did have a lot of fun. Everybody was really nice. The second day, we were a little bit outside of Bologna. Basically, we went to a restaurant and we met a famous chef. I can't remember his name. I'm just gonna put him on the screen and you guys will probably know who he is. I'm sorry, I learned his name, but I forgot it. Sitting with them at the table while they were getting B-roll or while we weren't shooting, it felt like they were performing for a camera, even though there was no camera. How they are on camera is very, very similar to how they are off camera. The only thing is that when they're off camera, they're a lot more vulgar and they say a lot more bad words.
Stop snitching, motherfucker.
But, you know, in like a normal way, like in an Italian way. Patrizio was so kind, so accommodating. That man is a damn professional. Between shots, when we would like wait for the camera to roll, he would like almost turn off like a computer. He'd be like, and I remember I was super anxious and I was like trying to chit chat with him because I was like, are we going soon? What's happening? And he would just be like, in sleep mode almost. So we had some food. Technically, you're not allowed to drink, which is wild. So we just could be like, cheers, chin chin, and be like, it smells good. And then later that day, we went to the first car museum. And I think it's really interesting because I'm not a car girly, but I will say that when I came into the museum for the first time, I was pretty stunned. All of a sudden, they asked me to do interviews with the American folks that were there. They were just like, ask them what they're doing here. And then I would like talk to them in English. And then they'd be like, and translate that into Italian. And I was like, in Italian class, I feel like I'm on top of the world. I'm focused, I feel like I can conjugate, I feel like I know what's going on, I can comprehend almost everything what my Italian teachers are saying. And then I go out into the world and I'm like, lost. Add that in front of a camera, I literally forgot everything. I forgot everything. The production team was so kind to me. They were like, don't worry about it, it's charming. We're happy to see an American trying to learn Italian. And I was like, so. You know, I did get to ride the motorcycle with the cheese on the sides.
Ma devi salire anche tu adesso qua.
Oh no!
We went so slow. We went like 2 miles an hour. There was no danger at all because when they emailed me, they were like, are you comfortable on a motorcycle? And I was like, I've never been on a motorcycle in my life and I'm very afraid. The next day we went to a little family farm. I was like, okay, I guess a farm. You know, I've been around farms my entire life. You know, I'm from rural Colorado. I rode on a tractor and it went 2 miles an hour because I don't know how to drive a stick. So I didn't know how to put it into the next gear, but that's totally fine because I would have been too scared to go too fast because I am a little baby.
I'm a little baby.
I'm only 28 years old. But then they made me vlog with some vegetables. I was like, do it for the vine. Do it for Rete Cuatro, I guess. I wasn't prepared for how much I loved the family who runs the farm. During lunch, the grandmother and the mother actually made us like a big meal, and I felt like we were part of a big family. And it's one of my favorite things about Italy. The way that people are just like, come in, you are my friends and family. I will feed you a 4-course meal. Like, after that, we went to the Lamborghini Museum, which was bigger and more grand than the other car museum we went to. I keep thinking this guy is real. What's up? And I had more speaking parts. I don't know how many speaking parts are gonna stay in the episode. Probably fucked it up.
It is what it is.
That night, we actually staked out this little like dance club, I wanna say. No way. It was mostly for like senior citizens. We staked it out because we're actually going to be shooting there the night after. Also to see like community things like this saxophone player. If you've ever seen Parks and Rec,
Hustle, people! Come on!
very similar. On the day that we finally got to go to Bologna, I was extremely excited because Bologna is my favorite Italian city. We actually ended up going to a soup kitchen. Underprivileged people who may not have enough money for the day, they can go to these kitchens and get free food.
Cosa vuoi? Mi stai facendo un foto? Cancello.
And that's what we did. We volunteered and we did some interviewing of the people who run the place. The guy looked like Santa Claus, I'm gonna be 100% honest. And then we opened up this giant cheese. So I don't think I ever really imagined the process of opening the giant cheese, but it is so much more work than I thought it would be. It was crazy. It took like 20 minutes and 4 men. I was like,
Is it even worth it?
also, we couldn't say Parmesan. We had to say Gran Padano. After that, we actually went to like a sort of after-school learning center, a place where children could go after hours to get some extra tutoring. And I got to see Italians going out of their way to reach out a helping hand to children who were refugees. And it was just really heartwarming. And it was probably my favorite part of the entire shoot. The last day we did a lot of like driving around and shooting Patrizio on his motorcycle, which was really cute because he's very good at what he does. It was fascinating to see in real time. You can tell he's been doing it for decades. This next thing is what I was dreading, which was dancing, because I'm not a good dancer. However, the first step was actually just interviewing an older couple who has been dancing for years. They were the cutest old people I've ever met in my life. They were like the quintessential Italian grandparents. The second I walked into their home, I was their grandchild. They kept talking over each other. They're like blah, 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 at the same time. In the back of my head, I was like, are they gonna be able to get usable footage from this interview? And then the dancing came. And then I had to dance with the main coordinator, but he was a short king, so he was shorter than me. That was a little embarrassing. But it's okay, I was really brave and I learned to dance to the best of my abilities. So then the party started and it was actually really, really wholesome until I had to dance in front of everybody and I was like, this is so mortifying. And then after the fact, as I was trying to leave the dance floor, I kept getting asked to dance. I was the belle of the ball. Maybe because I was 60 years younger than the average woman there. I don't know. Oh, something I didn't tell you guys about. I spent most of my time with the sound guy and like, I think one of the production crew members. And the only problem is that he was from Sicilia and the other man was from Tuscany. The two hardest accents for me to understand. I would be in the van with them, passing the time, and I have no idea what they're saying. Also, the Sicilian guy, every time he was putting my microphone on, he'd be like, blah, 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 blah.
What did he say?
But overall, the experience was a lot of fun. It was something I'd never experienced before, and I don't think I'll ever really experience again. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about Italy. I've been coming here 10 years. I know everything about Italy. Bitch, no. Anyway, I'm so glad that you guys watched this video and I hope that you enjoyed it. And maybe I'll start to post more. I don't know. I'm in the autumn of my lifetime. I'm 28 years old. I'm basically a grandmother. Ok, ci vediamo all'inferno.